They did reveal a cat. We revealed nothing, obviously. But we're real close to Tinker, so. Yeah, you don't really fight Lurrus with Graveyard Hate. You just kill it. I would assume no, Cho. Because I would assume no, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't know how much it matters, right? But we haven't hit that to the other people. Oh my god, really, Justin? I wouldn't consider it to be a Lurrus deck if it's not playing Lurrus in the main or having Lurrus in the main. Oh, all right, so we need to figure out a way to cast this Citadel. Opponent has double Force of Will, as well as a Wasteland, a Lightning Bolt, and a Pre. So we could actually cast our Citadel by just demonic for a Lotus. So let's think about how this works out. If we just demonic here, and we expose our land to Wasteland, right? Likely opponent will Wasteland and then maybe Preordain, and it seems like it'll be unlikely for opponent to have. Well, I guess they have Vampiric, so they're probably vamping for Lotus. It feels like it'll be very hard for opponent to have double Force of Will, and we already have one Force of Will. So I feel like if we can resolve a demonic here for Lotus, we should be able to play the Citadel. Theoretically, anyways. I think opponent will likely vamp for a Lotus and then Wasteland us. In which case, opponent will not be able to have double Force up, and we'll just match their Force with a Force. And then we'll be able to play Magic. We don't even have to make our land drop next turn. We can just go Mana Crypt, Black Lotus, Citadel. Opponent has 2 Forces, but Forces, you need blue cards. Yes? That's my line. That's what we're going for here. Opponent has 2 Forces and 1 Preordain. I think the likelihood that opponent like vamps for Black Lotus here, which stifles their top card, and then they go Lotus, Cat, Bauble, Wasteland. If they cast Preordain, they can't double. They might be able to double Force us if they draw a blue card off their Bauble. Basically, I'm trying to push my opponent toward that line where they have to draw a blue card off their Bauble to stop us from playing a Citadel. That's what I'm trying to do here. This like looks very appetizing for our opponent. Oh, they went for Ancestral instead of Lotus. Well, that's really bad for us. Tomas is a very powerful wizard. I don't really think there's anything I can do about it either, because I'm not going to ever force this. So now opponent just has to have drawn 1 blue card in 3. So now I assume opponent will still Wasteland us, and if they found a blue card in 3, then they just get to have double Force, and we can't do it. But that's our plan, chat. So opponent, we're kind of on. Opponent missed a blue card in 3 draws. Well, at least we have some backup plans now. Camp for Ancestral, huh? I have a lot of respect for Baka's play. I think it's some of the best play you'll see from a fair force of will player in Vintage. They're a very powerful wizard. Yeah, I can't play my land here because it's really important that our Citadel was a kill here, so definitely won't play around something like a Daze. Opponent's tanking on this, which makes me think that maybe they didn't hit a blue card, which is not unreasonable, but also I don't know how likely, right? They could also just be duo queuing some kind of PTQ and not be on our screen. There's no downside for me applying for partner, right? I just think it's kind of cool. Glyph, go to sleep. They pitched Force of Will, so we actually have a shot here. I think we did it. Hell yeah. Okay. We'll just get Ancestral. We can just put Time Walk on top with our Mystical Tutor. Oh yeah, that's game. That's game. Hell yeah, that's game. I don't want to Hercules. We can always draw past it if we need to. We have Mystical for Time Walk. Don't really need to do anything else besides that. And then we just top loop for top kills. We don't want to cast any more spells because we don't want to go below to 3. And then we just loop this top over and over until we have lethal. Well, I just met the requirements right now with this stream. Yeah. All right, we were able to squeak by that one. Looks like opponent drew 3 cards off Ancestral and there was no force. I'm gonna bring in Lavinia, and I'm gonna bring in Flusterstorm and Swords to Plowshares. Typically, Swords to Plowshares is good against most decks that Svaka plays. And then we'll board out Hercules and Mystical, and I don't want to bring in an island against the Wasteland deck. I typically like to board out some Mox Opals against this deck because I don't want to like board out too many, but you like kind of want to give some respect to Oof. Basically, you can like board out a top and like some of the more artifact dependent cards. Maybe we just want to play one Lavinia. I don't want to board out more than one opal. Like opals are really important because they help with your PO looping, so it gets a little awkward. Maybe we just board out one and we don't board in the other sort Lavinia and we just run like this. Let's try this. Obviously Caleb and partnered vintage stream. Not like specifically vintage streamers, but some of the more well-rounded players. From what I understand, like you hit their parameters, right? And then you apply, and then they say, yeah, we want you to try to hit these parameters now. And then you try to build up to their whatever parameters they set for you, and then you apply again, and they go, yeah, I'm thinking you got to do these parameters now. And then you continue that process until they're like, okay, fine, we'll let you in. Oh, maybe it's not. That's just what I've heard. Could definitely be rumors for sure. I want to eat, but I'm not sure I can keep the food down right now. Hopefully in a little bit I'll feel like I'm ready to eat. Yeah, this is a powerful hand. I'm gonna keep this hand. So I don't exactly know what is in our opponent's deck. They play like 4 colors typically, and so they have kind of a range of what they can include in their deck. Targeting me. I'm gonna go look at their last list though, just so we have a. So they're on 4 Bob, 4 Deathrite, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Snapcaster, Bolts, 4 Dazes. Wow, 4 Dazes. And then they're bringing in 3 Pyroblast, 2 Grudge, 2 Trophy, Spell Pierce. Wow, they're bringing in a lot of stuff. The opponent has a lot of counter magic now post board. We're very lucky we didn't get dazed in round 1. But what this does mean for us is that opponent doesn't have Force of Vigors in their deck. So I'm actually pretty down to just jam a bunch of my artifacts here and pass the turn. We actually have the ability to PO, but it would be they have mental misstep. Would be unfortunate. Card's really powerful. Alright, well that plan's kind of ruined, so let's go get the island and ponder. I would like to, on that turn, play out my artifacts and pass the turn, and then PO on their turn to have them tap out. Or, like, repeal their Ruby so that they can't Pyroblast me. But obviously, we got our mental misstep on our Soul Ring, so... They might Pyroblast this Ponder, too. We'll have to see what happens. I really don't know. I really don't know. Our opponent, he's got Vamp again. They're gonna Pyroblast by Ponder? Sure. Okay, so opponent is probably gonna play Lurrus Bauble next turn, I assume. That or they went for Ancestral again, I don't know. Maybe this time it'll be Lurrus Bauble. So unfortunately we couldn't get a Lavinia in play before then, so that we could, you know, not have that happen, but... I went for Ancestral again. Which is interesting. We kind of need some help from our draws, though. It's a little weird, Eric, but you kind of want to use max. Oh, max. You can't cast Cat off this. That's good. They cast Time Walk, though. It's kind of unfortunate. Okay. 3 cards in our opponent's hand. I wouldn't really consider us to be on parity. I would say opponent's probably ahead. I feel like I'm just gonna cantrip my time walk here. I'd really like to possibly find just a fetch for our Lavinia. I feel like opponent still has some more interaction though. Maybe like a second Pyroblast. Yeah, second Pyroblast. Alright, opponent has 2 cards left. They have to have another mana source to play their cat. But if they have another mana source to play their cat, they do get to do the bobble thing. We still don't have another blue like a white mana for a Lavinia. Or another artifact for like a PO. But getting 2 Pyroblasts out of the way now is kind of good for us. Oh, they found a black source, so it's probably cat bobble time. Really unfortunate that we could never get a Lavinia through. Could really have stifled this. I guess they had Pyroblast, so we were never... I actually think opponent was probably ahead. They had Vamp Ancestral the whole time, right? Alright, we drew a non-fetch land, so we can't cast our Lavinia still. Could just PO for 2 here. I don't really think like repealing the cat does enough. Yeah, I think that's reasonable, Cho. We would rather have another black mana. I feel like this is a turn where we're going to try to do things. Interesting. Gives us a lot of blue mana to work with. Well, we found a white source. So at least we can stop the bobble stuff. Alright. We did what we can do. Now we just need to top deck well. Opponent just had more moxen than us this game. A land is good though, it means they're bricking. Unless they have a sanctuary in their deck. Maybe opponent's actually not on a Deathrite Shaman deck this week. I've never seen them not on a Deathrite Shaman deck, but we haven't seen green yet, have we? Opponent's gonna attack here? For what reason would opponent attack here? They have to have a delve spell? Or... it has to be a delve spell, right? Or reanimate. I don't really care about them getting 3 life and us losing 3 life. So I guess we'll just let it happen. Dark Confidant. Good draw. Theo, please. That's not bad. Take that. They only have 1 card in hand. found a PO. Can't PO this turn. The opponent's gonna draw one extra card. Alright, we'll just go for the next turn PO and hope it's good enough. We could have drawn with our top to get a mana vault so we could hard cast Force of Will. But I think we would rather draw 5 cards next turn off PO. Alright, so what do they hit off this? They hit Dreadhorde, don't care. We definitely do not care that our opponent hit Dreadhorde. Obviously they have Ancestral, but like the next turn is the most important turn no matter what, so. Unfortunately, we know that the 2 cards below PO are not blue, so we can't even like make a play where we spin into blue or something. The opponent kind of has to have their last Pyroblast. Oh, now they can have Hardcast Force as their last card. They have 5 lands now. All right, well, we're just gonna jam and hope it works, chat. That's kind of how this is gonna work out here. Am I picking up Lavinia? No. Dreadhorde gets stopped by Lavinia as well. Looks like they have Hardcast Force. I don't want to pick up the Lavinia because it stops their Dreadhorde Arcanist. I don't think we're necessarily dead here, chat. Opponent's still only going to draw 1 extra card next turn. We have some time. We're not getting Ancestral because Lavinia counters everything off of Dreadhorde. That's still an interesting attack from our opponent. I guess they didn't have a Dreadhorde at the time. We're going to draw the Mana Vault and just play the Mana Vault. Or we can spin and look for a blue card. I think we would rather just draw and play the Mana Vault. It's going to give us a lot of options on our following turn. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. It's not good. Like, their opponent's still drawing 2 cards a turn, but as long as one of these cards isn't like a removal spell for our Lavinia, they had drew Demonic Tutor. Well, alright, now we're dead. Oh, we tried, chat. We tried our best. Yeah, so now opponent will get a dead weight. They'll dead weight our Lavinia or Pyroblast it, and then they'll flashback Ancestral off of Dreadhorde, and they have to miss on counter magic, and we have to find a PO, I guess. We know what our cards were. We know 2 of the 3 cards lift, so like really unlikely, and then the card that we're drawing off of top is really important, so I don't think I would have spun looking for a blue card. No, I don't think that PO will win us the game is the biggest problem. I understand that we could, I just don't think it was a worthwhile thing to do. I think it hinders our chances of having a lethal PO. PO is not lethal there, so. Opponent just had enough Pyroblasts. I don't think so. I don't think that looking for, like, if you had a fresh top 3, I think it's definitely more valuable. But we're only going 1 card deeper. I'm not really thrilled with the idea. All right, what do you got for me? A dig through time. That's a good one. Lavinia, Repeal, Ponder, Delta, EO, and Soul Ring. Alright. Does the dig through time resolve? Opponent has another force. Alright. We got it. Pretty rough game. Had some chances though. With the way the opponent's configured, I actually think I just want Opal. And I think I made a mistake in not having double Lavinia. They do play Snapcaster mages, which is worth considering. Doesn't look like they play Collector Oofs though. I'm kind of off of Repeal. Looks like they're not playing any Collector Oofs or Null Rods, so we can just cut these Repeals. Just kind of get in there. We could theoretically jam a Colossus instead as well, because opponent was probably on Assassin's Trophy. Opponent brought in Ancient Grudge. That's their answer to Chalice. I'm kind of off Chalice. Battle with this. Going into game 3 here. We won game 1 with Hardcast Citadel on turn 1. And then this game we were just basically 1 card short the whole game. We had probably a very good PO, but opponent had their last card was Hardcast Force of Will. So they hit their 5th land to cast Hardcast Force of Will through my Lavinia, unfortunately. They actually had to hit a land drop to cast their Force of Will there because of my Lavinia. But didn't get there. Get there. It was close. Like if we had another card for another blue card for our force, or we were able to go off 1 turn earlier, we would have been able to we would have been able to play. Don't know if we would have been able to win, because we still would have only been drawing like 4 cards off of our PO, and we knew 2 of them and they weren't that good. But it at least would have given us an opportunity. All right, on the play, game 3. Why do they use @ here so much in that other Discord? Yeah, this one has the required artifacts. Only gonna go in on this hand. And for a PO. Hello there. How do I sequence this? So we could time walk. We can time walk into Lavinia on the following turn, but we won't be able to PO right away. We could just take the Lavinia and not worry about a time walk and just PO on the next turn. What does time walk do for us? It just gives us another card. It doesn't really give us a card because we know what we're drawing. It gives us a spin, I guess, is what it does. I guess by casting time walk this turn, we get a spin, which is probably worthwhile. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Do it this way. Cool. Alright. So, as long as this Lavinia sticks around and the opponent doesn't have a Pyroblast for our PO, we should have a really good PO on the next turn. Basically, opponent has to have Pyroblast. Looks like they have Pyroblast. We can check. Yeah, they have a Pyroblast and an Ancestral and a Time Walk and a Bobble. Wow. If we had just gone for Time Walk PO, it would have worked out. But you can't really make that assumption. I think we have to Paradoxical Outcome this turn, because it will make it so they can't cast Ancestral. Oh god, it's so bad for us. So bad for us. I think we have to PO. I guess I could dig. No, I'm one short on dig. I have to PO here. So if they Ancestral, we could, I don't know. No, I don't like giving them the ability to Ancestral here. We know opponent's hand log. Jesus Christ. We're basically just shorting them on mana here and fueling our dig through time. Oh, no, no, no. It goes really, really badly for us if opponent is allowed to cast Ancestral on their end step there. We know their hand log. I'm gonna kill you. Kill you. Kill you. Also, there's a Lavinia in play. Alright, so now opponent gets to, oh, they drew a fucking Pyroblast off the top. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. I don't know, chat. Our hand was good, but kind of seems like their hand was better. If we had PO'd on turn 1, we would have had it, but you can't really make... Don't think that's the right play to make. Just seems so bad to PO when you have the Lavinia option. If Lavinia was just not in our Ponder, then I would have gone for Time Walk PO, and we would have probably won the game. But because Lavinia was in my options, I went for the Lavinia instead. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Chat. Can't let time. Can I? If I spin here, look for a PO. PO for 3. Garbage. Please. That's incredible. Opponent's so good at Magic. Opponent's drawn the best possible cards at every single point in this game. Every card opponent's drawn has been the best possible card. It's been nuts. Ah. All right. Well, we still have chance here. All we need to do is spin into Tinker, okay? We can just spin into Tinker. Not a chance in the world, chat. Not a fucking chance in the world. There's no way I'm forcing this turn because I'm gonna be mental misstepping the Ancestral, so. I'm just like so sad because we took probably the correct line with Lavinia. We took probably the correct line with Lavinia, but if we just did not have a Lavinia in our ponder, if there just was no Lavinia there, I would have just gone for the PO line, and the PO line was so good, it was PO for 4. They know I have a misstep, and that's why they're doing this. But we don't have enough mana to spin if I don't do this. Tinker, please. Oh. Alright, well now we're dead. What the fuck up? We would have no chance of ever winning this game if we were playing Lurrus. Jesus Christ. We're just such a worse Lurrus deck. There's like no reason you would ever want to play Lurrus here. Nap Time Walk? Cruise, dig? Opponent has 9 cards in hand. That's like the least of PO's worries. The game is over far before someone shatters your shit. Far before someone shatters your shit, this game was over. Game was probably over turn 1 when I chose to play Lavinia instead of playing PO. I just got absolutely wrecked by my opponent's hand was just so good. Ancestral Time Walk Pyroblast. Maybe I was supposed to bait the Ancestral and just maybe what I was supposed to do is go to the end step, let them Ancestral, PO, picking up all of my shit just to have like 10 cards in my hand. No, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe I was supposed to PO on the end step in response to Ancestral. It's just really bad because maybe it's not bad. Maybe, I don't know. Opponent's still gonna be like untap, time walk, pyroblast, everything. Like, opponent can just sit on their hand. They don't have to do anything on the end step. They have pyroblast and ancestral. They just play a second land, ancestral whenever the fuck they want, and still have pyroblast open. All right, this is our last chance, chat. We're gonna fetch away our cards and see what's on top. Found a Tinker. Is that good enough? About to find out. Nope. Nope. Too little, too late from the top of our deck. Too little, too late. Not bad though. Pretty lucky to win game 1, so. I just don't think I could have sequenced that in any other way, given the information we had. Like, we know opponent has, what, 4 Force of Wills? I don't know, maybe there's a world where you're not actually supposed to play Lavinia, and you're actually supposed to just jam PO and make them have one of their 4 Force of Wills. Is that possible? Could that be a possibility? Like, maybe we weren't supposed to go with the Lavinia line, and we were actually just supposed to go with the PO line. Like, they only have the 4 Force of Wills when I'm on the play. Like, they don't have the Dazes. So you just make them have Force of Will blue card. It just seems so greedy, not me. It seems so greedy when you can just lock up with Lavinia. Like, it's not like they have 4 Pyroblasts. They have 3 Pyroblasts. They don't even have, like, Flusterstorms. I mean, I play PO very greedy as well. I just thought, like, that was probably not the time to play greedy because we had a Lavinia. We can go back and watch again. Kind of unfortunate that we weren't able to win the game 2 because I felt like we were in a decent position in game 2. Kind of off Chalice. They don't have to ancestral though. Like, I don't think they actually would ancestral Cranedom. The required artifacts. Like, they just don't have to cast ancestral. They can just wait till their turn, play a second land, and cast and have Pyroblast up still. Game 1, the one where we. For a PO. I mean, yeah, you can DT for something else. I liked how we played game 1 though. I thought we put ourselves in a good place to win in game 1. could time walk. So we don't know opponent's hand at this point, right? We can time walk into Lavinia. Like we have 7. Opponent has 7 unknown cards. Yeah, right away. The only spell they can have in their deck that interacts with my PO is Force of Will. About a time walk. And just. So maybe we're just supposed to time walk and jam PO for 4. What does time walk do for us? It just gives us another card. It doesn't really give us a card because we know what we're drawing. It gives us a spin, I guess, is what it does. I don't think I even like really consider that as an option. I was like looking at my best ways to play out Lavinia. This turn we get a spin, which is probably worthwhile. It's kind of sad. Like I guess we've said it like 4 times now, but like if that Lavinia was any other Magic the Gathering card here, we just slam Time Walk PO. I don't know if that's true. I understand that it's like you can look at it from results oriented, but you have to consider like what can opponent possibly have in their hand. Cool. All right. So as long as this Lavinia sticks around and the opponent doesn't have a Pyroblast, it might be like we have a better chance of winning this game if we jam a PO when an opponent can't have a Pyroblast up. Like that might actually be a better percentage chance to win the game. We can check. Like Lavinia's whole job is to stop Force of Will, so that's why we're like, well, it makes sense to play Lavinia because we can stop Force of Will, but and an Ancestral, and a Time Walk, and a Bobble. Like at this point in the game, I'm not sure we can ever win from here. Like after this probe, I'm like, I don't really know what kind of options we have to win the game. If we had just gone for Time Walk PO, it would have worked out. But you can't really make that assumption. I think we have to Paradoxical Outcome this turn. It's just a gamble, right? But like maybe it's a gamble that gives us a higher percentage chance of winning because opponent is limited to only 4 spells that matter. So bad for us. I think we have to PO. Well, I don't think it's actually like you can't weigh it like a typical 2-for-1 because we're just so far behind if we get forced there. Typically, like it's gonna be really hard for us to rebuild. So if they we're so far away from dig through time. No, I don't like giving them the ability to ancestral here. Anyways, regroup. Atlanti. I mean, Pyroblast, Force of Will is probably the best card they can have in their opening hand on the draw. And Pyroblast is the best card they can have in their opening hand in general. Our deck folds really hard to Pyroblast, typically.